So my name is Nick Wingo. I was previously a firefighter for 18 years. I started at a young age. I came into the fire service at 18 years old. I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. The only thing I knew is that I wanted to be a hero. I knew that firefighters were looked up to. I knew that women wanted to be with firefighters and men wanted to be firefighters, and so it was a job that I saw as this job that was this huge pedestal, this amazing honor. It was this great thing, this great job to take on, and it was a good job. I was a hero. There was a lot of good things that I did, but it started to wear on me, and it wore on me and wore on me. And the biggest mistake I had is that instead of talking about my issues, talking about the struggles that I had, I would just shove stuff down. I would just, as far down as I could, just dig it deep, dig deep. Because when I came in, the culture, and it's changing, but it's still a lot of the same right now, is that, like, you don't talk about your emotions, you don't cry, you don't do all these things, you just shove it down and you move on because it's just part of the job, it's part of what we do. And if you do that, it's going to destroy you. That's what you're told by people. And so that's what I did. And that was the absolute worst wrong thing to do. And it ended in me getting to the point where I was only sleeping 2 hours a night on average for 5 years. My testosterone levels were going down. I was having inflammation in my body. So I was starting to get disease. I was starting to have gout, and I was starting to have asthma problems. And I was having all these issues, all these diseases of inflammation, and I didn't understand why. Well, the reason was is that I was shoving my emotion down, and my body, the response is to increase inflammation. I was having all these responses because of my post-traumatic stress, and I had no idea. In fact, it was so bad. I was having nightmares that were keeping me up. I was having flashbacks. I was having all these things that I thought only veterans had. Like, I thought that PTSD was for people that served in the military, because that's just what it was. I didn't know that firefighters could actually have post-traumatic stress. First responders, police officers, all these people that are outside of veterans. And I told my partner, I was like, "Hey, look, I'm having nightmares, and I can't sleep." And he told my captain, and they pulled me offline. And I was mad. I was super mad. I was pissed off. I was mad that they did that to me. I felt betrayed. I felt like they took something from me that was mine. I felt like they didn't care about me. I felt all this frustration and anger, and it was hard. But it's legitimately what saved my life, because the next 4 months of my life were a disaster. My dad died. I had to push my father-in-law out of my life because he was molesting my wife as a child, and he was supposed to be in counseling for the rest of his life, and he wasn't, and he started treating my mom inappropriately on a vacation, and so we cut that relationship out of our lives. I almost lost my marriage because of cutting my father-in-law out of our lives. So I had all this crap that happened in this short amount of time. And so January of this year, I was ready to kill myself. Like, I was done. I didn't have anything to live for. I didn't have a dad anymore. I didn't have a father-in-law. Not that he was there much anyways, but all these, and then my wife was going to leave me. Or I was going to leave her, like one of the two. And so I had all this stuff, and I got to the point where it was either kill myself, or go get help from somebody that was better than me and smarter than me, because I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't break the cycle. I was, the sleep it got worse. I was like 30 minutes a day of sleep. I was having these, like, severe anxiety attacks. I was having these or outbursts of anger, like at my kids, at my wife, excuse me. And so I went to treatment in Maryland for 35 days, and that was just the start. And then when I got back, I realized how important it was for me to continually work on my mental health and my mental well-being, and that it will be a lifelong journey for me. And so that's when I was actually in Maryland, is when I reached out to Warriors Ascent to just say, like, "Hey, I know that I'm going to need some more help, because this is not going to be enough for me." And so Warriors Ascent came at a perfect time for me, because I had just gotten out of treatment. And so I was able to add some stuff to my toolbox to help me, and it was just this great opportunity for me at just the perfect moment. So I came into Warriors Ascent, like I said, post treatment, 35-day treatment, and so I was really open to whatever people were willing to offer me. I was really open to tools. I was open to all the things that would be given to me. And so I was at this point in my life where it was this great opportunity for me to drill home some things that I had already learned, and then also add some stuff that it didn't really click while I was there. And so there was lots of stuff that we did in Warriors Ascent that I had done when I was in treatment, but there was so much stuff in treatment that, I wasn't able to get stuff to really click and really to get set home. And when I came to Warriors Ascent, there was, the absolute biggest pieces for me was the yoga, the meditation, the self-care, the journaling, tapping into my artistic side. Like, here I am, this big, burly, 235-pound man that's tattooed, bald head and beard, and I'm like drawing stuff, and like I'm the typical guy that people look at and they're like, oh, that guy's a meathead. That guy's, but that's not who I am. And I'm able to really now, more than ever, I'm able to really tap into my more tender side. I'm really able to tap into the loving side of me, because I was not able to do that. I was tapping into a lot of the anger and frustration and all those emotions that were not loving and kind and peaceful. And now, post Warriors Ascent, I'm able to tap into my peaceful side. What does that look like? That looks like I had no freaking clue that this little dude named Carrie was going to come in and show me yoga, and me walk out and be like, man, I'm going to do yoga every day. But now I do. Like, I do yoga not every day, but most days. I do yoga. I stretch. I'm doing meditations more than I ever have. And I'm recognizing how important those things are, how much of a difference those things make for me. And so to go to Warriors Ascent and be blessed with tools that will legitimately change the way I do things for the rest of my life was huge. And it could not have came at a more opportune time. It could not have came at the most perfect timing. And so now moving forward, like, I understand that those are the things that I have to do every day. And I did not understand the importance of that until I was in Warriors Ascent. And I got to tell you, the 5 days that I spent at Warriors Ascent was impressive. And this is coming from somebody who was in treatment for 35 days. And for Warriors Ascent to do what is done in 5 days time, it's phenomenal. Like, there is not, I would argue there is probably not many programs out there that can do what Warriors Ascent is doing in the short period of time that they're doing it. It's intentional, it's direct, it's well organized, and it's good. It's good to see. It's good to be a part of. It's, this is why I'm here doing this, is because it's something that is a big part of who I am now, and I want for the organization to succeed and move forward, because if it can help so many more people just like me, like, the impact that it can have is huge. The amount of lives that can be saved, it's important. It's important that there's more of these things. It's important that we're helping more people, because there are so many people that are going without any help, and we need to do something about it. Police officers, firefighters, veterans, the prison guards, like, all these people who are struggling, hardcore struggling. People they don't even know. They don't recognize. Like, when I tell people that it's estimated that 300 to 500 firefighters are committing suicide every year, they're blown away. They have no clue. They have no idea. Like, we are just in the beginning phases of putting light onto post-traumatic stress in the organizations that are within the U.S. Like, it's recognized better more and more in the military community with veterans, but man, Warriors Ascent being one of the programs that's really recognizing, like, hey, it's not just veterans, it's these other guys too. It's these other guys that are struggling. It's huge, and it's appreciated. Like I appreciate it, and I know that the people that I went through with appreciate it. I was kind of forced into my situation. I was pulled offline. I didn't have a choice. I had to do something. Retroactively looking back, it was 5 years ago that I started to know. I started to know something was wrong. And so I would tell you, if you're not sleeping, like for reals, if you're not sleeping, something is wrong. Quit telling people, oh, it's just part of the job. It's just part of what we do. Bullcrap. It is not normal. It is not normal to have nightmares. It is not normal to have outbursts in anger. It is not normal to, get an average sleep. If you're sleeping anywhere, I would argue that if you're sleeping any 5 hours or less a night, you probably have something going on. Like, you probably have issues. If you're waking up multiple times a night, if you're kicking your wife in the bed, if you're yelling and screaming, waking up, if you're having outbursts of anger at your children, if you're yelling at people when you're driving down the road, like, come on, man, that's not normal. Something's going on with you. You really need to stop and self-evaluate, because I can tell you what's going to happen. I can show you the path that goes down, and it's not good, and it sucks. I personally know 4 people that have committed suicide, and so that's where it's headed. So if you want to be stubborn, and you don't want to recognize and just accept the fact of where you are, it's likely that you're going to be a statistic and you're going to end up killing yourself. That's just the truth. That's a hard truth. And I got to tell you, like, if you know about the program and you know that there's help available, why would you not take the help? Why are you allowing your ego and your pride to prevent you from getting help that could benefit you, and change your life and extend your career? Because let me tell you right now, like, I'm on disability. Like, I cannot go back now. I can't. And why? Because I waited too long. And so if you are on the fence, there's no question you should be doing it. If you're even considering getting help, like, you're already to the point where you need it. And set your ego aside, because your ego is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to help you. It does not care about you. Your ego is what prevents you from doing the things that you need to do. That's just the truth. That's the truth. It's hard truth, and it sucks. And it sucks to say, like, hey, I am having problems. It's hard. It's a hard realization. You know what? Somebody told me I had post-traumatic stress. When the doctor said, hey, you have post-traumatic stress, you know what I said to the doctor? F you. That's bullcrap. I don't have post-traumatic stress. Like, that's stupid. But here I am on disability, right? Having this conversation. So think about it. Think hard.